Hello everybody and welcome to DRL TV. I'm your host James Pandolf. Joining me in the booth tonight is Taylor Butcher Benjamin. Tonight it's the Kansas Speedway 150 for the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series. 100 laps on this 1.5 mile track. Gonna be 76 degrees, a cool track temp. I believe it's around 85 last I checked. As the sun continues to go down, that track will get cooler and a lot more grip will be on the track surface. I'm expecting multiple lanes of racing tonight. Based on what you saw in practice, Taylor, who are you keeping your eye out on tonight?
Basically, I'm keeping my eye on a lot of the guys that have been really strong on the mile and a halfs, like Austin Collins and Richard Springer and Dakota Wilkins and Jarrett Rogers. I expect them to be towards the front, but you definitely hit the nail right on the head. A lot of racing lines for these guys, so hopefully these guys can get spread out and race each other without too many wrecks. And like you said, the track is going to get even cooler as we get into the nighttime, which of course a lot of people consider the nighttime to be the right time.
Absolutely, as Dakota Wilkins finishes his qualifying effort, currently 9th on the board. Josh Mayu is the quickest at this time, but we still have just over halfway left to go in qualifying. As we just tune into Jarrett Rogers, we see him racking, so he'll have to attempt his second lap. He was, I believe, the fastest in the practice session, so keep an eye out on that 9 truck. Who else do we have on track at this time? Rod Posner on the 10. He's coming out to do his qualifying in that KFC number 10 machine.
Well, Josh Mayer has been bumped off the pole by Scott Gaskill, the 11 truck. And Josh Mayer, the winner at, I believe it was Richmond, he took the checker flag, and that would solidify his spot in the chase. That is, if he makes all the remaining races, which we were just talking about before he came on the air. He's basically can't miss another race in order to make the required participation.
Absolutely, he was a driver that came in late to the season, but he's so far been to every race. He's been fast every week. He could even do it in on points if he's lucky enough. As Fosnar's coming to complete his first lap, we'll see what kind of lap time he can post. Currently
Also got
26.
Certainly, we got 2 Grand National drivers in this field tonight, Thomas Harmon and Mike Lemon. I expect them to be up towards the front.
Yeah, Thomas Harmon unfortunately couldn't make it to last night's Grand National Series race at Mid-Ohio due to power outages, but he's here tonight hoping to make a statement, and hopefully these Truck Series drivers can learn a thing or two from him, as he's one of the best in the Grand National Series.
There's no doubt about it. I myself have been able to learn quite a lot based on what he's done, as far as, because he's definitely one of the best as far as, even if he starts at the back, just methodically saving his equipment and making his way towards the front on the long runs. And if we have long runs in this race, I expect him, as well as our new pole sitter now, Richard Springer, I expect those two to really shine if we get a lot of long runs in this race.
With 30 seconds left to go in qualifying, you see the remaining drivers are just waiting at the start-finish line. They're not going to post a lap time. Jarrett Rogers, Thomas Harmon, Ronnie Outlaw, and Andrew York will be starting in the back of this one. 100 laps, as mentioned earlier, and Richard Springer will be the pole sitter tonight.
Well, so far this year, Springer's been either basically win or bust. He has 3 wins and 5 top 5s on the season, but other than that, has been plagued with a lot of bad luck.
And this
so hopefully be able to get that turned around tonight.
And this is his 5th pole on the season.
Yeah, he's not one to be short on any kind of flat-out speed, that's for sure. And speaking of which, let's bring the reigning series champion into the booth. And as James mentioned, this is his 5th pole of the season. Richard Springer, you got a copy?
I got you, TBB.
Well, that's a terrific hot lap you posted there for the pole. What kind of race do you expect tonight as the night gets or as the track tempo increases as the nighttime falls?
You know, this track, you got to run at the top. And once the tires give up, the front tires give up, man, it's tough to stay off the wall. And once you're into it, you're in real big trouble. So I'll probably try to split the scene quite a bit to keep that from happening.
Yeah, and we were just talking about you've basically been either hero or zero this year. For a lack of a better term, when 3 wins on the season, but a lot of roughs. Been a bit of a rough stretch for you recently. What do you got to do tonight to turn that around?
So I don't be mostly zero again. Is that what you're telling me? I'll probably. It's so hard to pass and let guys by because there's only one line. So I don't know. I'll have to see if I can lead the first lap and then go from there.
Well, we expect an exciting race. We expect you to contend for the win at the end of the night, I would imagine. So good luck and have a good one.
All right. Thank you, man. Have a good broadcast.
Yeah, I'm going to hear that one for sure after the race. As we get the final seconds ticked down, and we're about to roll off onto the grid. So let's get our starting lineup.
Absolutely. We got a big field tonight. 32 trucks, I believe, was the finale. As we go through the remaining drivers, you see Andrew York, Thomas Harmon, 29th and 30th. And then 31st and 32nd, final row will be Jarrett Rogers and Ronnie Outlaw making up this 32 truck field.
And Jarrett Rogers probably got last year in the back of his mind. He qualified up front and was running second, but then got in the wall in the very early stage and set off a major wreck. And so I'm sure he's got that in the back of his mind, trying to avoid that tonight. So it'll be exciting to see him as well as Thomas Harmon come from the very back.
And one thing to mention with this iRacing update, the Ford F-150 is now a truck series truck available to drive, and we have 5 drivers who have opted to drive the Ford F-150, so keep an eye on those guys and see what kind of power is under that hood.
Well, they definitely look pretty cool if nothing else, but base car is off. Richard Springer and Scott Gaskill will get them underway here at Kansas.
Great restart for the 21 of Richard Springer as he's down and away. Adam Patel with a nice start as well. He's side by side with Gaskill for second as they head down into turn number 1.
Richard Springer, you just heard him say he wants to lead that first lap and then let things kind of play out. And already trouble for one of the DPR drivers, one of Richard Springer's teammates, Dustin Jones, has been throughputed. He was up in the top 5 in practice. Springer with a little wiggle there off of turn 4, but he will come down and lead this first lap.
He does indeed, but Gaskill's all over his back bumper as he's going to pressure him down into 1. Both drivers riding that high line above that white dotted line. You're going to see a lot of people playing with that outside wall, especially as this run continues.
I was able to test drive this setup a little bit, and it's kind of finicky. I mean, it's been, for me, it was a little bit loose one lap and then a little pushy the next lap. So these guys definitely got to watch out for how the truck behaves here.
On board with Gaskill as we head down into turn number 1. And see just how close they are getting to the outside wall.
Well, eventually, so we're going to have some drivers, they're going to have to make the bottom work if they're going to make any passes, kind of like Bristol.
You see the second pack with Josh Mayu in 3rd, Terrence Sinay in the 32, he's in 4th, and Jim Westerfield rounds out the top 5 at this moment.
Springer enters this race as the leading the league in laps led. He's already up to 290 entering this race. A lot of action in the middle of the field here. Looks like Jim Westerfield underneath Terrence Sinay for 4th and 5th.
As we see Dustin Jones is back in the servers. He'll be a few laps down, but with a long race ahead of him, he might be able to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, knowing him, he's got to be extremely disappointed, but especially how well he was running in practice there. But a few cautions, and he could get back in this thing.
Mitchell Briggs currently inside the top 10. He was top 5 on the practice charts. Gonna have to keep an eye on him. Looking for his first win in Dynasty Racing League. He's another driver returning to the league after a little bit of a hiatus.
It is hard to believe that he hasn't won a Dynasty Racing League event, but I feel like it could be coming soon as we have a caution.
It's in the back of the field, not quite sure who.
Looks like Ronnie Outlaw is in the grass and his truck has sustained some damage. Oh, we got hooked by Cody Gatsky, it looked like.
We'll see if we'll be able to see it. There's a lot of connection going on in the back. We'll see if this replay comes through or not.
It looks like there was some net code, but Gatsky was kind of coming down off the wall a little bit, so that's what I'd like to call prediction code. Or that the sim like predicts that they're going to touch, and that's
yeah,
what
right there you see it and sends him right to that SI wall before the feed cuts.
Let's see what some of these guys do. We've only ran working lap 7 now, so I expect pit road to be fairly busy, but we might see some guys gamble that are at the back of the field and go with 2 or maybe not even pit at all. And this is a big break for Dustin Jones as he's actually being scored 4 laps down, but he will get one of them back by virtue of the free pass.
Looks like Steven Sims is the first truck not to pit, along with Craig Meyer.
Steven Sims entering this race as our points leader. He gets himself a bonus point for leading a lap, and he won at a track, basically the sister track of Kansas Speedway at Chicago, won the pole and led nearly half of that race en route to victory.
As we see the race off pit road, it looks like Springer had a little bit of an issue. He'll lose 2 spots, as well as Scott Gaskell.
Springer looked a little bit slow getting into his box, maybe just trying to be conservative. Josh Mayu got right sides only, I noticed.
That is correct. Both him and Westfield got right side only.
Speaking of which, if I can find him, let's bring him in and ask him about it. Hey Josh Mayu, it's Taylor and James in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Well, we noticed you took 2 tires on that pit stop. What was the thought process behind there? Because we've noticed up here it looks pretty hard to pass.
Like
comes up off the corner and gets into the front of the 27.
I want to see how it's going to be on 2 tires.
51 front the road, otherwise get the UL.
See if I'm going to be able to
Behind the 25.
and just planning on for the late.
Well, I'm sure it'll help now that some other guys in front of you have pitted, except for Steven Sims, so you'll have some reasonably clean air. So look forward to seeing how you do on these 2 tires, and maybe if it works, some other people might take notice. So good luck the rest of the way, man.
All right, man. I appreciate it, bud.
As you heard Jeremy Hebel in the background giving his explanation of that caution.
Yeah, a little playback. We apologize on that. We'll try to have Mayu fix that for the next time we might interview him tonight.
Biggest mover so far is Dakota Wilkins from 18th to 7th. I believe he did get 4 tires, so he's definitely been on the move. I actually take that back. He actually made a second pit stop, it looks like. So yeah, I see him back here behind David Wright, so he's actually going to be restarting in the back.
Looks like Ferrari was on the pit lane as well for extended amount of time, just over a minute. Let's see if he has any sort of damage to his machine. Oh yeah, right there in the right.
Yeah, he does.
Pretty significant too. That's gonna impact him the rest of this race.
And we talk about aerodynamics being so critical, especially with these trucks and especially on the 1.5-mile track. So he's gonna definitely have a long road ahead of him to get back to the front.
Let's take a look at one of these Ford F-150s while we're under caution. We'll take a look at David Lindahl, who's currently in 11th position. Pretty sharp looking truck. See that Gander RV and Outdoors banner. Hopefully next week that'll have a Dynasty Racing League Truck Series banner. Hopefully we'll have that template figured out for next race.
And Lindahl, he is one of these drivers that he's had a terrific season, especially compared to last year, but he's been knocking on the door of the first win, and he almost got it in the last race at Charlotte. If it wasn't for Austin Collins beating him by just 0.003 of a second. But I expect him to break into victory lane soon if he keeps this up.
Yeah, that was an amazing finish to that race. The closest finish in Dynasty Racing League Truck Series history. I know that was definitely heartbreak for Lindahl, but he'll learn from that, and hopefully he'll get one soon. As the field is double filing up, Steven Sims elects the inside line, Josh Mayu on the outside.
Jim Westerfield actually in third. I went back and looked. He also got just right sides only.
That is interesting to see Steven pick the inside line, knowing that high line will be so much preferred as this run goes on.
Well, if I were to guess, that means he probably would think about going early. Because to me, when you pick the lane that's not really the preferred one, my guess would be to take off as early as you can, and once you cross the start-finish line, get up into that preferred lane. Well, let's see what happens. As the pace car ducks off, and there he goes.
Great restart there for Sims. He's out by about 3 truck lanes. Jim Westfield able to slide up in front of the 21 Springer for third.
Sims goes to the bottom.
Here comes Gaskell. He might make a 3 wide off for turn 2.
It looks like Westerfield tries to slide up in front of Terrence Sine and does have just barely enough room. A lot of gaggling, a lot of big gaggle, I should say, in the very back of the field, man. Thomas Harmon in the middle of that in 15th place, one of the few drivers on the low line at the moment. I recall at Bristol in the Grand National race where he actually was one of the very few that could make the bottom work with this progressive banking, and all over a long haul he was one of the fastest cars in the whole entire field before being taken out late. Here comes Richard Springer. He is knocking on the door of that lead once again. He made quite an aggressive move off that last corner.
3 wide coming off of turn 2. Jim Westfield on the high line. Anthony Thitchner down on the bottom. And you can see just how much more momentum that high line has, as they were both able to clear Thitchner down the back straight.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, because Thitchner looked like he had the momentum and was going to go right by him, and then that momentum carried Westerfield right back around him. But here comes Springer.
For the race lead, down in 1. Will he try the slide job, or will he hold that bottom?
Oh, they actually tied for the lead across the start-finish line that time. Wow.
Right up in front of the 45. Steven Sims had to check him a bit there, but he's able to take that lead away.
Now, if that was 5 laps to go instead of lap 15, I think we might see a little different outcome. I think Steven gave him a little bit of a break there.
As you can see, all these drivers really starting to go to that high side. Tamsine Josh Mayu, the only 2 drivers inside that top 5, still working the middle to bottom line as Mayu's trying to get around that 45 of Steven Sims. Remember, Mayu took 2 tires, Sims stayed on his old tires. It looks like he'll be able to clear him.
Talk about how tough it is to pass. That extra pit stop right now is not doing Dakota Wilkins any favors.
Oh, into the wall is the 32, the 11 as well.
They gather back up.
Wow, what a save for Scott Gaskill.
He's going to go all the way to the back. And speaking of loss of track position, there you go. He's still struggling to get back up to full speed.
Yeah, he has a lot of damage to that front. Let's see if we can take a look at it once again. Looks like he might have clipped the 32. 32 might not have been clear when that happened. Let's see if we can get
yeah, that's what it was. The 32.
Yeah, he just wasn't clear. Ended up
trying to
making
swing out to
contact.
get that angle into turn 1, and they just got together just a little bit. But both drivers did a great job of controlling their trucks as well as everybody behind them and missing them.
And now for the lead, Mayu putting a charge on the 21 of Springer.
Steven Sims just got through-putted.
Oh, that is bad news
Wow.
for Steven Sims.
Our points leader, and who was leading a little bit ago based on staying out, is going to go off for naught. Look who's up to 4th place. Anthony Thitchner maneuvered his way past that little entanglement with Sine and Gaskill. Guy who's licking his chops back here is Daniel Holloway, who does have a little right rear damage. You see, he was 2nd in the points, 27 points out of 1st place entering tonight. So, and of course he finished 2nd in this event a year ago. So if Sims can't get back up in this race, and if Holloway can get up there and get a good finish, we very may well see a new point leader by the end of the night.
Tim Sine's all the way back to 9th after that little dust up with the 11 of Gaskill.
Yeah, his right front has got quite a bit of damage, kind of similar to his teammate Adam Faree back there. Heading back to the field, see a couple more guys in the back with some cosmetic damage. See David Wright.
Yeah, a bit of damage to his right front as he's all the way in 29th position.
Looks like Steven Sims is trying to reconnect to the server. Oh, we got 3 wide action all the way back around. Big checkup.
Everybody did a great job keeping it straight, keeping it going.
Yeah, Dustin Eichert was caught in the middle there and really had to get out of the throttle, and Ronald Sirline, the 38, they about sideswiped each other. They were able to make it out of that without any additional problems. While all that's going on, it's basically a 2-man race at the front with Westerfield trying to hang on to that lead duo. Looks like these 2 tires are doing all right for Josh Mayu.
As you see, about a 2nd gap for these front 2 drivers. As Spring is starting to pull away a little bit. About 3/10 is the current gap. 3rd place, Jim Westerfield. His teammate Anthony Thitchner battling Mitchell Briggs, who's up to 5th.
Adam Purcell under attack from Mike Lemon. Seeing Adam Purcell with a lot of... You've shown a lot of flashes of brilliance this year, but he's definitely got himself into some bad situations that and if he's gonna win one of these races soon, he's got to clean that up. But he's definitely shown some promise. As here comes Briggs underneath the 87. And look who's in the top 10 already. Thomas Harmon from 30th place to 9th.
Oh, into the wall is the 87.
Oh, and a wreck behind him. Trying to see who that is back there. Looks like Jared Rogers is involved, but it's the second year in a row for Jared at this racetrack. 3 wide between Rod Fostel and Adam Faree. That set that one off. Faree got squeezed into the wall.
Oh, yeah. Big impact there. Let's see if we can get another look. Yeah, he just kept coming up after driving from that apron, coming back onto the track surface, and just nowhere to go as it was 3 wide above him. Pinch Faree into that wall. Fosner, let's see how much damage he might have sustained.
I mean,
pretty significant on the 9, and the 10 has a little bit of damage, but Fosner might be okay.
Can't really blame Fosnaw for. I mean, he could have lifted right there, but that was mainly Jared Rogers coming up the track trying to get an entry and not have an awkward angle getting into turn 1. But I mean, Rod held his line, and Adam Faree was just a victim up there at the top of those guys.
Yeah, probably didn't know that they were 3 wide at that point in time as Springer leads him down pit lane.
And with this many laps, I expect everyone to get 4 tires.
You saw Steven Sims reconnected as he drove past our camera. He's a few laps down.
He's actually 7 laps down, and Dustin Jones is getting another lucky dog to put him 2 laps down, although his right front's pretty tore up. Austin Collins being scored a lap down. He actually got some damage in that last incident that I didn't previously see. Quite a bit, actually. Jared Rogers has actually called it a night. Although next week we go to the place where he actually won at Texas Motor Speedway. Let's see who we can talk to real quick. There we go. Hey, Mike Lemon, it's Taylor and James in the broadcast booth. You got us?
Yep, go ahead.
You've been kind of slowly, methodically working your way from 13th starting spot up to the top 10. Looks like there's a lot of action going around your truck, though.
Yeah, had some close calls there. Yeah, I noticed in practice how slow I was. I don't drive these things very often, so I'm just kind of taking my time learning as I go.
Oh, sorry, you cut off there.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm pretty slow in these things. I noticed in practice, so just kind of taking my time learning as I go.
Well, does it also, coming into the truck series and knowing that besides you, only Thomas Harmon doesn't run this for points, so does it make your race any different knowing that you don't race this for points?
Yeah, it does. If I had speed, I guess I'll wait to see if I can get any speed out of this, and if I get better, and if I think I have a chance to win, then I'll be going for it.
Well, I think if you keep doing what you're doing, you'll have a chance to make a run at it. So it looks like you're 2 to go, perhaps. So we'll put you back down, and good luck the rest of the night.
Thank you.
And Mike finished, I believe, in the top 5 last night in the Grand National race at Mid-Ohio, even though he spun out in the middle of the race. Richard Lucky able to pick up his first career Dynasty Racing League win last evening.
Yeah, that was a great performance Richard Lucky put on. As we see Austin Collins with significant damage. I missed that. Don't know if that was in the same incident we just had, but he's been on pit lane for 300 seconds.
And he actually has just called it a night as well. Austin, of course, the winner at Charlotte in the last race. We've had 11 different winners in 13 races thus far in the truck series, and Springer being the only driver to repeat.
As we should be getting the 1 to go signal here. 30 laps are now complete. 70 to go.
Looks like Springer has thoughts of picking the top. Ted Immenheiser back down pit road for another time. Ted's still looking for, well, he actually has 3 top 10s on the season, but still looking for that first top 5. The track is definitely getting cooler. It's 75 degrees ambient temperature, and track temp is down to 78. Get the restart as we complete lap number 31. Springer, Mayu, Westerfield, Purcell, Briggs, the top 5. Pace car is in, and Springer takes off. Gets about a 2 truck length gap. And Mayu trying to get up in that outside lane, but Adam Purcell
Lets him have it.
there. This is so important on these restarts. As much as in reality, these guys should just be taking it easy at this point and just trying to get singled out. But at the same time, track position is so important. Oh,
big impact.
And now trucks going everywhere back here. I believe that was Patrick Cowgill, the first truck out of shape. Yeah, it was. Oh, and he right up into Daniel Holloway. Oh man.
Let's see if we
And
can see
Holloway
that. See if we
Oh,
can see
it's
that
already
one more
popped.
time.
Yeah, Holloway's engine popped, and then he got hit again, but man. Big time overcorrection by the 31.
Coming through turn number 4. You can see him start to get loose. He wiggles right up into the 26.
Oh, David Lindahl got clipped, so did Dustin Eichert. I believe that was Adam Faree that ended up hitting Holloway.
See, going on board with the 88 of David Lindahl.
He was right behind that and just got clipped first on the right side door, and then Dustin Eichert was down there. There was not much he could have done in that situation. Tried to gather it back up, but just looks back into the wall. Last year in this race, we had 6 cautions, and we're halfway there. This is our 3rd of the evening. Alan Dahl's got pretty significant aero damage that's probably going to effectively ruin his night, unfortunately. So the top 2 drivers in the point standings running into trouble. Sims with his internet. Now Holloway with this crash. And what do you know? Dustin Jones for the 3rd time. He's going to get the lucky dog. He was 4 laps down. Now he's just 1 lap down. Was it David Wellborn last year, I recall, in one race? I think it was a Gateway. Got, I think, 8 free passes or something. So, I mean, it can be done if you get back on the lead lap and stay out of trouble. Let's see who we can talk to real quick while we're under caution. Hey, Brenton Kincott, you got a copy of the broadcast booth.
Hey, how's it going?
Now it's going pretty good. You had a front row seat for that wreck, huh? That looked pretty wild.
Oh yeah, that was terrifying. Don't get me wrong, that was terrifying.
Well, definitely a good heads-up maneuver there to not get involved. We've seen you definitely show some signs of improvement over last year, especially on these mile-and-a-half tracks with the top 5 at Atlanta and another solid run tonight. How's your race been going overall?
Well, from starting 26th and we're 9th, we're slowly moving up, so it's good that way. The truck, I haven't hit the wall or anything, so the truck is really good. Me and Thomas Harmon were kind of moving through the field during that one green flag run. But yeah, just luck is just on my side today.
Well, hopefully that luck keeps up, because I know you've been having some internet problems recently, but we hope to see you finish well and maybe talk to you later on as a podium finisher, perhaps.
Hopefully. Yeah, I got internet fixed, and I just got a new PC today, so hopefully no more problems.
Yeah, hopefully. We hope to see what you can do here. It looks like you're coming to the restart in another lap, so we'll put you back down, and good luck the next 65 laps.
Thanks, TVB.
And Kincott had a pretty solid night last night on the road course with a top 10. Actually, it looks like they're on 2 to go instead of 1 to go. Right now, 21 trucks on the lead lap. Dustin Eichert has disconnected. Got some damage in that last accident. Looked like he was going to make it through, and then when the trucks bounced off, when the initial trucks, Lindahl bounced off of Holloway, it came down into Eichert and sent him through the grass. So it looks like we'll take this restart with 62 laps to go, which would essentially be basically a one-stop race from here. Patrick Cowgill did go a lap down after staying on pit road to get damage fixed. And Adam Faria has called it a night as well.
We have Richard Springer and Josh Mayhew on the front row. Adam Purcell and Anthony Thitchen make up row 2. Jim Westfield, Thomas Harmon make up row number 3. Thomas Harmon started in the back of this one, already cracking at the top 5. What a performance he's put on. And we're not,
Imagine that, right? He's definitely one of the best in this league, at the very least, of starting in the back and getting his way towards the front and staying out of trouble. As pace car pulls off, Richard Springer on the inside this time. We saw him pick the top last time. And looks like holding him down, and now he takes off. Caught Josh Mayhew a little off guard there, it looks like. Anna Purcell moves into that second position. It's like Mayhew didn't get through 1 and 2 that great. And now underneath, here comes Harmon. And like I mentioned earlier, he's one of the few that's been really strictly been making the bottom line work. I'm not sure I've actually seen him go to the top very much. Side-by-side action here as we reach 60 laps to go this time around. Mike Lemon back in 8th place is kind of doing what he said he was going to, but just right along. Corey Sherman into the top 10 for the first time tonight. Corey got win at another 1.5 mile track at Las Vegas earlier this year. Really is nice to see these multiple groups getting played out now, and several guys making each lane work. Lemon trying the bottom, although Briggs will get a run and clear him there. Oh, Adam Purcell hits the wall. Entering turn 1, kind of like we saw earlier with Terrence Sine. Got a little too, swung out a little too wide, trying to get that wide arc into the corner and pancake the safer barrier. He's still digging, trying to hang on to second place, but maybe we'll take it away. And see a little bit of right side damage, mainly just the quarter part of the hood sticking up a little bit. Another truck I don't think we've talked about much tonight is Craig Meyer, that 25 truck. One of the few guys that have come this week with the F-150, and his truck's in pretty good shape and running just outside the top 10 and 12th. Leader continues to be Springer by about 1/3 of a second. He's led the majority of this race.
Harmon's still trying to work that inside line as he's battling with Jim Westerfield for the 5th position. Mitchell Briggs now looking to the outside of Harmon. Oh, big check up there by the 87. They're going to split him 3 wide.
3 wide. Mitchell Briggs able to keep up that momentum and clear them both by about 3 truck lengths.
Gotta move Briggs up to the 5th position.
Does 87 have damage on his right front? Yeah, a little bit.
He does have a little bit of a nick in that right front corner.
Oh, another truck in the wall behind him. Yeah, with Scott Gaskill.
Gaskill, who started on the outside pole tonight, currently just outside the top 10, behind the 28 of Cody Barber.
Barber and Dakota Wilkins had a bit of an anxious moment as Gaskill pulled it off the wall, but was luckily able to keep it up there. The top two are beginning to separate from the rest of the field again. So far, basically a pretty rough night for dysfunctional Patriots, except for Richard Springer up here leading the most laps. But all his other teammates, Holloway's out repaired, Dustin Jones has had internet issues, and David Wright back there in 18th with quite a bit of damage. Well, 3 wide again. Yeah, it's Harmon again. He's been 3 wide a few times tonight. He clears Mitchell Briggs entering turn 1. As these guys continue to jostle back and forth, the lead that Springer had and Mayu had over them was about 0.8 of a second. Now it's almost, yeah, it's basically doubled that. And now it's up to actually triple that. It's now 2.4. I think main part of it might be because Purcell and Thitchener and now Westerfield gets into the wall, and so now all 3 of those guys, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, have some right front damage. Harmon's going to take advantage of that. Does he have enough room to slide up? Not quite. There's Harmon streaming this race on Twitch, I would imagine. Jungle Cat Wizard is his Twitch name if guys want to go over there and give him a follow. Of course, Dakota Wilkins back there in 13th streaming as well, as he does on the regular. He's got a mirror full of a lot of trucks battling in front of him with Sherman and Kingcott and Mike Lemon. Now Harmon goes to the outside of Purcell. Thitchener was able to get by Purcell, and now Harmon follows suit. Meanwhile, Richard Springer just continuing to check out as he puts a lap on David Lindahl there. He's now 8/10 of a second on Josh Mayu and 4 seconds over the rest of the field. He sure loves these tracks where the high line is the preferred groove. See, look how close he gets. I mean, you couldn't fit a piece of paper in between the right side of his truck and the wall there. So with Lindahl going a lap down there, that leaves 20 on the lead lap. Doug Lockrow, the last of those. He's actually coming down pit road, Doug Lockrow is. Speaking of which, the question becomes, now that I believe they might be in the fuel window, when do these guys make that stop under green?
Richard Springer's lead, it's about a second now. He's on pace to pick up his 4th win on the year if he's able to keep everything in check. Josh Mayu looked for his 2nd win as he's going by the 51 of Ronnie Outlaw to put him another lap down.
Yeah, Springer's last few laps has consistently been a 10th faster than Mayu and Harmon, and at least 2/10 faster than Fitzner on back. I'm sure these guys would love to see a caution flag right now, as long as it's not them. Because they're going to have to do something pretty drastic in order to beat that 21 tonight, as it looks. Westerfield snuck by Thitchner there as they came up on the lap truck of Lindahl. Lindahl doing the smart thing by staying low out of the preferred groove. It could still cause some havoc if these guys are side by side. So you come by this time, Springer a 33.5, Mayu 33.45 actually, about a 0.5 quicker that lap. Harmon technically matching their lap time with a 33.5 of his own, but is still 4.5 seconds back. And probably his tires might not be in all that great a shape compared to the top 2, given how he's had to fight through traffic. Time Springer a 33.39, Mayu a 45, so about a 0.5 quicker by Springer that time. So far, only 3 caution flags. Of course, in our last race at Charlotte, we had 3 caution flags in the first 15 laps, including a big one on the very first lap, but then went green the rest of the way. So these guys have definitely been improving in that department. It's like Craig Myers picked up some right front damage, although he has made his way into the top 10. He's the highest running Ford F-150 drivers. Basically all Chevys up at the front except for Springer's Toyota. Terrence Ene his night has come to an end as he is pulled it behind the wall. Still 18 trucks on the lead lap. David Lindahl being the first one off the lead lap at the moment.
You have the battle for 4th going on between Jim Marshfield and Anthony Fitchner, and Mitchell Brigg, is hanging on, who's currently in the 6th position.
Well, these guys back here, they definitely need to get to pit road before Springer does. That they're going to have any chance at all to use those tires to their advantage, but even so, with the amount of speed Springer's been able to put up and on this long run, I mean, he's going to have some kind of major mistake or some other unforeseen circumstance for him to not pull into victory lane at the end of the night. Yeah, the only one matching him in lap times or anywhere close is Harmon, and he's still 6 seconds behind him. And even if Harmon does get up there, he's going to have to get by Josh Mayu first.
A little bit of a checkup Briggs had as he almost ran into the back of Anthony Titchener. As Titchener looks to the outside of Westfield, into the wall goes the 87.
And we saw him hit it earlier. Didn't look like any additional damage done that I can see. Of course, I believe those guys are teammates.
Slide job by the 69. Westfield had to put on the brakes.
Yeah, that was close right there. And now Westerfield in danger of losing another spot to Purcell and Lemon behind him. So we reached the 2/3 portion of the race. That was close between Purcell and Westerfield there. See just how much momentum. If you don't get the pass made in the center of the corner, that outside truck has just got, looks like he's got 100 more horsepower. Purcell's actually coming on the pit road. And you would have to imagine that a lot of trucks around him would be following him. See if anybody comes in this time. Top 3 don't. It's like someone back there. Yeah, it's Brent Kincott in the 4. He's pitting now. So I guess the big question becomes, when do the top 2, Springer and Mayu, come in? We saw Richard Springer win the championship at Homestead, Miami last year by short pitting and getting those tires early. And getting a big advantage and eventually holding on to win the title. Another truck on pit road to Scott Gaskill in the 11. Oh, Cody Barber slaps the wall. No harm, no foul there. Don't see anybody coming up. Dakota Wilkins, here he comes actually. Along with, who's that behind him? It's Craig Meyer's teammate. Comes Rod Faustin on the pit road. Faustin, despite all that front end damage after that wreck with Jarrett Rogers early in the race, he's been hanging on the lead lap in the top 15. And now Richard Springer, the leader.
Oh, big wreck. The 28 to 6
crash.
involved.
Corey Sherman. I think that had to do with guys getting on the, trying to come to pit road. Yeah, Mike Lemon. Yeah, Lemon was slow to get to pit road. Looked like Cody Barber got in the back of him, and Sherman got in the back of Barber. Triggered that whole melee. This could be a big break for Richard Springer, because I believe he was on pit road when the caution flew. As long as he stays on the lead lap, I think he should cycle back out.
It looks like the 28 was trying to get around Lemon, who was pitting, and Sherman just had nowhere to go.
That's definitely a tough situation. These guys definitely got to be. I mean, you know, in real life, the best you can do is either have your spotter relay that information or wave out the window. But I mean, these guys, since they do have radios and can talk to each other, I guess, long story short, probably a failure to communicate right there. And Mike Lemon, since he doesn't run this series for points, with the damage that he had, he's going ahead and called it a night. actually has re-entered the server. So, but anyway, this is going to cause a big shakeup. As here comes the drivers who have yet to make a pit stop.
I think this might have been a late decision by Mike Lemon to come down pit lane.
Yeah, he was pretty around 3 and 4 before he dropped down to the low line, so
On board with him as he heads down into turn number 3.
well, this really hurt guys like Dakota Wilkins, Craig Meyer, Anthony Fitchner. Although they'll get back on the lead lap with the wave around, they'll lose quite a bit of track position. And this could work out actually perfect for Richard Springer, because he did stay on the lead lap.
And this will be possibly the final pit stop of the night. We're going to have less than 25 laps to go when we go back racing.
We're going to have quite a bit of wave around trucks. Or as Richard Petty would say, I'd rather be lucky than good, and Richard Springer has been both tonight in this situation. Yeah, the running order is kind of mixed up right now. I'll wait for scoring to update here. Here we go. It's Springer the leader, Mayu, Harmon, Briggs, Sirline up to top into the top 5. Westerfield 6th. Purcell back down pit road is scored 7th. Andrew York 8th. And then the rest of the field trapped behind the pace car and having to use a wave around now. Let's see if I can find him in the Discord here. Here we go. Hey, Brown, Sirline, you got a copy? It's the broadcast booth.
Yes, sir.
Well, that caution came in the nick of time for you, I would imagine. Got yourself quite a lot of track position there by a lot of guys having to pit under green and you pitting under yellow.
I smacked the wall, and I think it slowed me down a little bit. I burned my right front up pretty good, trying to get by some of these guys, on the inside. I definitely needed that. That's fantastic.
Well, you're right. From my vantage point, your right front looks fairly decent, and especially compared to some of these other people. But now that you've got the solid track position, you think you can keep it?
They're going to give it a shot. I hope so. I can run pretty good on the outside line, but man, it seems like I try to dive to the inside to get by some of these guys, and I just can't pull it off. We're going to give it a shot. I hope.
Yeah, we've seen how tough it is to pass here tonight, so perhaps this could be quite a blessing. So good luck the rest of the way.
I thank you very much. We're going to give her hell and see what we can do here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. We look forward to it. Yeah, this could be a big moment for Sirline as he comes into this event. Where's he come in here? In the points standings, he is... Oh, he's actually quite a ways back. Oh, he's only made 3 starts prior to tonight, so I guess points really aren't on his mind. Another big break this could be is Thomas Harmon. As we were talking about before the whole green flag pit stop sequence started, that he was back practically matching lap times with Richard Springer, and now that he's made up that difference with a caution flag, he might give Springer and Mayu a run for their money. Yeah, we've got 7 wave-around trucks. That's just to get back on the lead lap, and a few more behind them. This really helped David Wright and Dustin Jones. Yeah, Dustin Jones has actually scored on the lead lap after being 4 laps down after his internet kicked him out earlier, so that's a terrific recovery.
Pace goes off.
Yeah, 23 laps to go. Restart. Springer gets away pretty clean. Most of the field pretty strung out. I've got Ronnie Outlaw, the lap truck, coming on back on the track right as these leaders are coming up on him. And here comes Harmon. I don't believe he's led a lap here tonight, but he could give Richard Springer his biggest challenge.
Lap truck stays low as these drivers are able to get around him down into turn number 1.
Placed in between Harmon and the lap truck. And gonna do a slide job, but Harmon
Crossover.
gonna cross him over. They might have touched right there. That's what Springer wants to see in his mirror. These guys getting up here and messing with each other. Briggs in 4th. Sirline challenged by Westerfield for 5th. Andrew York in the 18, despite all that front end damage from being collected in one of those early crashes. That caution helped him tremendously as he is up in 7th place right now. That battle between Mayu and Harmon has settled out for the moment.
20 laps to go. Mayu, Springer have been the class of the field. Harmon is now in the mix. And we have the 69 of Mitchell Briggs. He's now in 4th.
Here comes Westerfield, taking another look on Sirline. Both trucks look practically identical as far as their right front damage is concerned. Oh, a little. That was close there with guys entering that corner. Westerfield can't quite slide up in front of them. Oh, a little contact there. It looked like a Sirline trying to maybe get a little side draft there, perhaps. It's the best battle on the racetrack right now. Although up at the front, as soon as I say that, top 3 are only 0.2 of a second separate Mayu and Harmon from Springer's back bumper. This battle for 5th continuing between Westerfield and Sirline. Sirline defending pretty aggressively there on the 35, although Westerfield should probably... Oh, he got wiggled and the Westerfield into the wall.
Everybody got to move out of the way for that.
I kind of saw that coming. Wait, Sirline was sliding up the track and there's not enough room for those 2 trucks to make it up close to the wall, as close as they were. I mean, these guys know we're getting down to crunch time, because it'll be 15 laps to go next time around.
And Mayu still all over that back bumper of Richard Springer. Thomas Harmon in the mix. Thomas Harmon's not in it for points. He's just here to take a win. And he has a great look to do so.
Westerfield dropped back to 7th in that exchange. But it's essentially a 3-truck race at the front.
Yeah, you'd have to go back a few seconds to find 4th place Mitchell Briggs in that 69. And a driver we hadn't talked a whole lot about, he started all the way in the back of this one at the beginning. Andrew York, you see a lot of damage to his front bumper, but he's in 5th.
Yeah, he's into the top 5 as Thitchener goes by him. That's not for position. He was one of the big losers on that pit stop under green exchange there, as he got caught a lap down. He's in the free pass position at the moment, however. But for a truck that was running in the top 5, that's got to be pretty devastating. So Steven Sims, he might be 6 laps down, but he's still up here running with these guys. He's alongside Sirline's truck. Adam Purcell working the bottom of the racetrack, being scored in 8th. These top 3 are just scorching these guys from 4th on back. They're constantly at least 2/10 faster each lap. They've built up that advantage to 4.2 seconds. That's the margin for 4th place Briggs. Right now, 14 trucks being scored on the lead lap. Actually, Justin Jones, he was on the lead lap, but he came down pit road a lap ago. Now being scored 2 laps down. Well, I'm not sure what to watch between this battle up in the top 3 or these guys in the back, because these guys are wrestling with each other.
10 to go, 3 drivers, only 1 can win it. What's gonna happen?
Harmon, I would imagine, I mean, he's got quite a lot of experience in this race running down on the bottom, so whenever he decides to make that move, I'm sure he would feel the most confident of these 3 running that low line. 9 laps to go this time. All 3 of these trucks basically matching each other. Well, if Harmon's going to have a shot at Springer, I don't think he can wait much longer. In fact, here he goes. Got the nose alongside the CO2 truck, but can he make the pass? And not quite. And just that little bit of racing between those guys helped Springer stretch that gap just a little bit more. Briggs comfortably in 4th place. Nobody really around him. 5 seconds back, but Andrew York trying to hang on to a top 5 run with Sirline, Westerfield, Wilkins, all these guys behind him. Seven laps to go. Here comes Harmon again. Sends it into turn 1. But it just doesn't have the momentum to make that work. In fact, he lost quite a bit of ground right there. Six laps to go as they come around. sure all three of these drivers are praying for no cautions at this point. Especially Springer. He's been dominant all night long and he's had a little luck on his side for good measure.
Half seconds the gap, gonna be 5 to go.
I've been past David Lindahl in the 88. Looks like Sirline's gotten around York for 5th place, although Wilkins, somebody blinking back there. Looks like Steven Sims again. Oh, Purcell, very close to the wall. Now Springer, as they come to 4 to go this time, looks like he's stretching it out ever so slightly each lap. Harmon back to a second behind, Mayu a half second. Now 4 laps to go. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, it's been win or bust for Richard Springer on the season. 3 wins, a couple of runner-ups, but other than that, some bad luck in between. And Harmon taking another shot at Mayu, and I believe he might clear him. He does. But he's got quite a way to go to catch Springer, and Mayu fights back.
This is all Springer's race as long as the caution does not come out with these two battling.
He's got 1 lap truck in front of him. It's Ronnie Outlaw. He smartly pulls out of the way. Or at least pulls to the inside, and all these 3 have been running to the top. And now 2 laps to go. Now Springer moving off the top a little bit. And now Harmon able to look like he made up some ground right there. This thing's not over with just yet. Harmon's within striking distance. If Springer's got to be perfect here on this last lap as they take the white flag. Looks like Mayu is falling out of touch between the top 2. Harmon's there. Springer pulling it down to the middle. Let's see what Harmon has up his sleeve here for the final 2 corners.
I think he's too far back.
Yep, not quite close enough. And off turn 4, the reigning series champion Richard Springer with his 4th win of the season. Now this battle for 5th place. Sirline holds on for that.
Great drive there by Ronald Sirline. Started 8th, finishing 5th. Great finish for him.
Scott Gaskill and Brent Kincaid, they fought back for top 10 finishes as well.
Yeah, I didn't really mention a whole lot about Kincaid. We did have that interview with him early in the run, but started all the way back in 25th, getting a top 10 finish. A great points tonight for him. As well as Mitchell Briggs, he'll be coming home in 4th tonight. Great drive by him, but the man of the night is Richard Springer.
Here comes Daniel Holloway, give him a little celebratory shenanigans, I guess you call it. And Springer remains the only driver that has more than 1 win, as this is his 4th win on the season in the 2020 Dynasty Racing League Truck Series. Now, while he does his celebrating, let's start with 3rd place, Josh Mayu, where he's at. Here he is down in Wolfpack. Hey, Josh Mayers, the booth one more time. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
That was quite a battle between you and Springer and Harmon, but Harmon was able to get by you there, and looked like you just kind of run out of tires at that point.
Oh yeah, for sure. Burn them up. Great race though. Real fun. Needed a caution there at the end to do anything, but other than that, it was
It was definitely exciting for us to watch, and of course, we talked about, me and James at the beginning of the show, about how although you do have that win from Richmond, it's basically can't really afford to miss any more races until the playoffs. So
yeah, exactly. Thank God we got that win. Now we're just gonna keep showing up every week, try to get the top 5 of them to death. Get the
well, certainly a terrific performance tonight, and next week we go to Texas, another 1.5 miles. What are your feelings on that one?
I like Texas. I like the older version better. I'm not sure what one we're running, but definitely Texas is a good one.
I think that's still up in the air as far as what we're deciding to do between which version we're going to run. But you got anybody that we want to thank on that 02 truck before we let you go celebrate it?
I thank my teammates, K2B Motorsports, and then I was in the team chat with Wolfpack Motorsports, Jim Westerfield and Anthony and Patrick. Thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, and Dynasty Racing League for the putting on.
It was quite a show you guys put on, so thank you guys for that. Congrats once again, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your night.
And Josh May, with his 4th star on the season, has finished in the top 10 in all 4 of them. Actually finished in the top 5 3 times now. I'm out of the 4. Let's go down to S2R here and pull in Thomas Harmon. Started 30th and wound up with a runner-up finish tonight. You got a copy, Thomas?
It's in far, I got you.
Well, you basically put off your trademark with starting in the back and finishing up towards the front. And to me, what I've observed, one of the very few trucks that was able to consistently make that bottom lane work and make passes.
Yeah, it's a hard line to get to work, but when it does, it mainly did towards the beginning of the race when everybody's all bunched up and
yeah, got that going on.
But
I'll have to have a talk with him about that.
But yeah, the bottom lane works. Works in the Cup car too. But hold on. Sorry, wheel was resetting. But yeah, it's wanted to start in the back, and I just wanted to have fun. I could have pushed the issue a little bit more with, I think, with Springer and Mayu there at the end of it. But like I told my chat, I didn't want to push the issue and wreck their race. They're here for points. I'm not. So I just trying to take it easy and try to get good, clean passes without, without pinching them or anything like that.
Well, you certainly did that tonight. Without, I don't believe you had a mark on your truck until Holloway decided to do that there. But yeah, just a really solid night overall, and it kind of reminded me of Bristol, the way you were able to make that bottom work on a similar type track. But definitely got a, or yeah. Are we going to be at Texas next week for trucks, or are you just going to do Grand National?
If it's open, I'll probably run Texas, but if it's not, then obviously I'll just be in the Grand National.
And the Grand National Series, I believe.
Is that Michigan?
Michigan, that's right. And I hate to burst your bubble there, Thomas, but with you not showing up and me getting 10th last night, I took over the point lead.
Yeah, internet went out at like 11:45 in the morning. Didn't come back till after midnight, so I wasn't too happy about that.
Well, knowing you, I'm sure you'll be able to redeem yourself pretty well at Michigan next week. Anybody got to thank?
Thank you guys up in the booth for broadcasting it to all the fans, all the people that come out and watch us every week, teammates, friends, all that fun stuff. Adam for being on the side and no spotter tonight. So shout out to anybody watching.
Yeah, I noticed you didn't have your wingman there, Dimitri, but either way, a great performance by you tonight, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week.
I'll be there.
All right, looking forward to it, man.
Have a good one.
You too. And now that, well, his truck doesn't look as pretty as it was about 5 minutes ago, but let's bring in the man of the hour. Our reigning champion from a year ago, Richard Springer. What a performance you put on tonight, man.
You like that?
Yeah, I did. I guess you can classify that one as a hero race.
There we go, 0 to hero. Change one letter and everything's different. Yeah, it was. I mean, there were some fast boys. It took a long time to shake Josh. I finally got about 2 seconds, and then I pitted, and then the freaking caution came out. I didn't want that. I figured I could just maintain the lead there, and I was better on old tires. So it worked out okay. I think I led probably quite a few laps there. So anyway, worked out good.
Yeah, definitely led the most laps by far, and yeah, that was quite a interesting sequence of events there with that caution coming out with the guys trying to get on pit road. But luckily, you caught it technically at the right moment because you were on pit road, and
yeah, I must have crossed the start-finish line before the caution came out. That must have been it.
Well, and plus you were able to get back on track on the lead lap anyway, so that basically put you back up in the lead. But
yeah, it waved me around the pace car at that point. I had to pass 2 guys. It waved me around everybody to get to the lead again. So that was.
Well, I guess you got to be lucky. You got Richard Petty said he'd rather be lucky than good, but I'd say you were both tonight because, I mean, the way you were able to run that high line, particularly towards the end of that long run, I mean, you were just putting a clinic on everybody else.
Well, Thomas got up there after a while, but prior to that, I saw him in my relative. He was 5 seconds back, and then he was like 6 or something seconds back. But he might have been dealing with lap cars and so forth. So the caution really helped him and Josh both. But yeah, I have to say, I think I probably deserved to win this one. So what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I might sound a little biased, but yeah, you did based on your on-track performance. But of course, next week we go to Texas, and if I recall, you've got some redemption to make up there.
Yeah, you mean the fact that I crashed 100 yards into the race? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, after blowing the motor.
Oh no, I crashed first and blew the motor.
that issue. But
well, I rather run the old track because there's a lot more off throttle time, so I like the old track better.
I think I think James will make his decision in the near future about what we're going to do there. But
yeah, I'm sure my opinion won't count, but there.
although it did earlier in the day for.
Yeah, he gave you Darlington, didn't he? He gave you Darlington. So I appreciate that.
For those who don't know, we actually did change up the schedule a little bit for the truck series with North Wilkesboro for September 1st and Darlington September 15th. We got you here. You got anybody you want to thank before we let you go celebrate this win?
Yeah, well, you actually Hebel for stepping up and doing the race control tonight. And of course, you and James in the booth. James for running the league. All the fact that we had another 32 guys show up, so that was great. I had a few Grand National guys show up and run. So yeah, I got a shout out to all those guys and teammates too. They had a really lot of bad luck tonight. It's too bad. I think I'm the only one that actually came home unscathed until Holloway got a hold of me after the race.
Yeah, I noticed that, but yeah, it's definitely carried the DPR banner this evening. Congrats once again on your 4th win of the season. As we mentioned earlier, you're still the only driver with more than 1 win this year, and we're looking forward to seeing you next week in Texas.
Alrighty, man. I'm sure that'll change. We're going to have multiple winners. There's just too much speed out here to not have that happen. So we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, but we're looking forward to it, man. We'll see you.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
I think that's going to wrap things up here at Kansas Speedway. A pretty solid race overall. 4 cautions, a couple less than last year, and and a nice finish there between Springer and Harmon. So let's run down the official results.
Yeah, what a race. It's unfortunate a couple of those cautions had multiple trucks involved. Only a handful, 14 drivers finished on the lead lap. A few got caught a lap down after that initial green flag pit stop caution that came out. But ATVO is completely frozen up on me, so we'll have to just verbalize the finishing orders, starting with our winner, Richard Springer. Thomas Harmon coming home second. Josh Mayu third. Mitchell Briggs fourth. Rounding out the top five is the 38 truck of Ronald Sherline. Great finish by him. Dakota Wilkins sixth. Seventh goes to Andrew York. Eighth, Adam Purcell. Ninth, Scott Gaskill. He started on the outsider tonight. A great top 10 for him tonight. And Brent Kincott rounds out the top 10.
And coming home 11th is Jim Westerfield after that encounter with Ronald Sirline and getting that damage. Brings him 11th. Craig Meyer comes in 12th. Rod Fosnaw 13th. David Wright 14th. Those trucks, 14 trucks on the lead lap. Anthony Thitchener 15th, although he ran in the top 5 for quite a while, but got caught on that pit stop cycle and never got the lucky dog that he was looking for late in the race. Patrick Cowgill 16th, Cody Barber 17th, David Lindahl 18th, Dustin Jones 19th, and points leader Steven Sims in 20th, and he caught a major break. I'm sure he's disappointed in his internet for what happened to him tonight, but based on he's still going to end up gaining points on second place Daniel Holloway after the crash that took him out for a majority of the event.
21st, we have Ted Emmenheiser. 22nd, Mike Lemon. 23rd, Corey Sherman. 24th goes to Ronnie Outlaw. And 25th, Terrence Ney. 26th, Doug Lockrow. 27th, Daniel Holloway, who we just mentioned. 28th goes to Dustin Eichert. Adam Freed, 29th. Cody Gasky rounds out top 30. And to finish off the field, 31st goes to Austin Collins. And 32nd, Jarrett Rogers. Both teammates. Unfortunate night for those teammates.
And definitely not that I would expect out of the Highwaymen Motorsports team, but they'll bounce back next week, I promise you, because, I mean, Jared is the defending winner at Texas after all.
Yeah, absolutely. A great night. And next week, the Grand National Series will be at Michigan. Be sure to tune into that one next week, June 6th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And June 8th. My dates are a little messed up tonight. And then next week, June 9th, will be at Texas for the Dynasty Racing League Truck Series. Overall, great night, Taylor. And congrats on the win to Richard Springer, his 4th win on the year. And do you have any last words before we log off for the night?
And again, just a terrific race all the way around. Sure, I mean, had a few cautions, but that's kind of standard on these mile-and-a-half tracks in particular. And yeah, Springer showed that if he can just stay out of the trouble, he's definitely going to be one of the top contenders for the Truck Series Championship once again. But a lot of guys are going to be giving him a run for his money, that's for sure.
Congrats again to Richard Springer on his win. Looking forward to seeing what next week will bring. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to DRL TV, and we'll see you next week. Have a great night.